Once upon a time, nestled between two gentle hills and a winding silver river, there lay a forest unlike any other. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. The forest was known as the Whispering Forest, and it was said that anyone who entered with a quiet heart and a curious mind would be gifted with dreams more vivid than the stars. In a small cottage at the edge of the forest lived a young dreamweaver named Elara. She had hair like moonlight and eyes that shimmered like dew. Each night, she would sit by her window, spinning stories into the wind, hoping they would reach the ears of those who needed comfort. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills and painted the sky in hues of lavender and gold, Elara heard a soft knock at her door. It was a little boy named Finn, wrapped in a woolen cloak, his eyes wide with wonder. "I can't sleep," he whispered. "The stars are too quiet tonight." Elara smiled gently and invited him in. She brewed a cup of chamomile tea and lit a lantern that glowed with a soft golden light. "Perhaps the forest will help," she said. "Would you like to hear its story?" Finn nodded, and Elara began. Long ago, before the river sang and the hills danced, the Whispering Forest was silent. The trees stood still, and the wind dared not enter. But one day, a tiny bird named Luma flew into the forest, her feathers shimmering like stardust. She sang a song so sweet that the trees began to sway and the wind returned to listen. Luma built her nest in the tallest tree, a silver birch named Elderwin. Elderwin had watched over the forest for centuries, and he was lonely. Luma's songs filled his branches with joy, and soon the forest began to awaken. The flowers bloomed in colors unseen, and the animals gathered each evening to hear Luma sing. A fox named Thistle, a deer named Solon, and a wise old owl named Bramble became her closest friends. They shared stories of the stars, the river, and the dreams they had while sleeping beneath the moon. One night, Luma sang a lullaby so gentle that even the stars leaned closer to listen. Her voice carried across the hills and into the hearts of children who had trouble sleeping. They dreamed of floating on clouds, dancing with fireflies, and sailing on moonlit lakes. But as time passed, Luma grew tired. Her songs became softer, and the forest began to worry. Elderwin whispered to the wind, asking for help. The wind traveled far and wide until it found Elara, the dreamweaver. Elara followed the wind to the forest and met Luma. She listened to her songs and learned their magic. With her voice, she wove new dreams, and the forest sang once more. Luma rested, knowing her gift would live on. As Elara finished the story, Finn's eyes grew heavy. The lantern flickered gently, casting soft shadows on the walls. Outside, the forest whispered and the stars twinkled with delight. "Did the children sleep well after that?" Finn murmured. "They did, and so will you." Finn curled up on a cushion by the fire, his breath slow and steady. Elara hummed the lullaby of Luma, and the forest joined in, its leaves rustling in harmony. And so, under the watchful gaze of Elderwin and the gentle song of the wind, Finn drifted into a dream where he sailed on a moonlit lake, danced with fireflies, and heard the stars whisper his name. The end. Sleep well, dear listener. May your dreams be soft, your heart be light, and your night be filled with wonder.